Have you ever noticed that the moment you chase someone, the moment you beg for their attention or explain yourself just to be accepted, something inside you breaks? It's like your spirit bends, your confidence cracks, and suddenly you're no longer the powerful version of yourself you once were. My friend, listen carefully. The world will always test you by pulling your energy, draining your strength, and making you believe you must run after people to be valued. But a warrior does not chase. A warrior does not beg. A warrior does not explain. A warrior stands still, and the world adjusts to him. And today, I will show you how to become that warrior. Stop chasing. What runs away was never yours. When you chase someone, you are not just moving toward them, you are lowering yourself for them without realizing it. You take your own value, your own presence, your own strength, and you place it beneath theirs. You make them the prize, and you turn yourself into the pursuer, and the moment you do that, you shift the balance of power. You become the one who waits, who hopes, who tries too hard, while the other person becomes the one who decides your worth. A warrior never puts himself in such a position. A warrior does not chase. A warrior walks his path with dignity, knowing that whatever is truly aligned with his journey will walk beside him willingly. The truth is simple. What is meant for you will never require you to lose your self-respect or beg for attention. The people who belong in your life will feel naturally connected to you. The opportunities that are written for you will remain within reach without you having to fight for every inch. Life has an order, a timing, a wisdom you cannot always see. It aligns you with the right people, the right choices, and the right moments when you stop trying to control everything with your fear and attachment. If someone begins to drift away, let them drift. If someone becomes distant, step back and let the distance expand. If someone walks out of your life, allow them to go with peace. Holding on to someone who wants to leave is like trying to trap air inside your hands. The harder you grip, the quicker it escapes. And no matter how fast you run, you cannot catch what is already choosing to move away. Anything that leaves that easily was never truly solid or secure to begin with. But the moment you stop chasing, everything changes. Your mind becomes calm because you are no longer running. Your energy becomes focused because it is no longer scattered. Your presence becomes stronger because you are no longer giving it away to people who do not value it. And slowly, people begin to feel something they never felt before: your absence. They begin to notice the silence where your effort used to be. They begin to realize the space you once filled. Absence has a way of speaking louder than presence when your presence was taken for granted. When you stop chasing, you become rare, and anything rare becomes valuable. That is the power of self-control. That is the strength of a person who chooses themselves. When you stop running after the world turns back to see where you went. And that is when everything that truly belongs to you begins to move toward you, naturally, effortlessly, and without force. 2. Stop begging. Respect yourself enough to walk away. Begging is the fastest way to destroy your own spirit, yet people do it every day without noticing how deeply it affects their self-worth. When you beg for someone's time, someone's attention, someone's love, someone's approval, or even someone's basic respect, you are sending a message to yourself that you are not enough on your own. You convince your mind that you lack something, that you must depend on someone else to feel complete. But understand this clearly: the moment you beg, you surrender your power and give another human being the authority to decide your value. A warrior never begs because a warrior knows exactly who he is, even when the world forgets. When you beg, you stretch yourself into uncomfortable shapes to fit into a place that was never meant for you. You silence your boundaries. You shrink your voice. You hide your strength just to keep someone close. You accept less than you deserve because you fear losing what you think you need. But this behavior does not bring closeness. It creates distance. People do not respect what follows them. They respect what stands firm. They respect what has options. They respect what carries itself with calm confidence. Begging does not attract love. It attracts disrespect. It invites people to treat you casually. It tells them you will accept crumbs, even when you deserve the entire table. There is a truth you must accept if you want to grow. Anything you have to beg for was never real to begin with. Real love does not require you to plead for attention. Real loyalty does not make you fight to be seen. Real opportunities do not demand that you lower your dignity to be chosen. If you must beg for it, you will always have to beg to keep it. And anything that requires you to sacrifice your self-respect will eventually poison your happiness. When you stop begging, something powerful awakens inside you. You begin to see yourself differently. You begin to understand your worth, not in comparison to others, but in the quiet truth of your own soul. You realize you are not defined by who chooses you, but by what you choose for yourself. You begin walking away from conversations that drain you, relationships that confuse you, and situations that treat you like a backup option. And when you walk away with dignity, the world notices. People who once ignored you begin to wonder why you left. Those who took you for granted begin to feel the emptiness of your absence. Begging keeps you small, but walking away makes you powerful. Respect is not demanded with words. It is earned through the silent strength of your actions. When you refuse to beg, you communicate something undeniably strong. I know my worth, and I refuse to trade it for temporary comfort. This is how you reclaim your power. This is how you rise. This is how you transform from someone who seeks validation into someone who doesn't need it. Walking away is not weakness. It is the highest expression of self-respect. And self-respect is the foundation of a warrior's spirit. 3. Stop explaining. People hear only what their mind is ready to accept. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing that if they explain themselves enough, if they speak long enough, if they repeat their truth again and again, others will finally understand them. But you must realize something. People do not hear you through your words. They hear you through the filter of their own insecurities, their own beliefs, their own fears, their own jealousy, their own assumption. That means no matter how honest you are, no matter how sincere your intentions are, no matter how straight your explanation is, someone who already decided to misunderstand you will always twist your words into something else. And you will exhaust yourself trying to fix what they have no desire to see clearly. When you constantly explain yourself, you are telling the world that someone else's opinion is more important than your inner peace. You are saying that their misunderstanding has the power to disturb your spirit. But a warrior knows when to speak and when to remain silent. A warrior does not waste his breath trying to prove his purity to a mind that is already poisoned. He does not chase approval from those who live in their own confusion. He does not bend his truth just to make others comfortable. Instead, he stands firm, speaks once with clarity, and then moves forward without looking back. The truth about explanations is simple. The people who genuinely care about you don't need them, and the people who demand them don't deserve them. Someone who values your character will understand you without lengthy justification. Someone who respects you will ask questions with an open heart, instead of accusing you with a closed mind. But someone who is determined to misunderstand you will turn even your silence into an offense. You cannot win with people like that, and the more you try, the weaker you become. There is a quiet strength in saving your energy. When you stop explaining yourself, your mind becomes calm. Your emotions stop reacting to every opinion that comes your way. You begin to understand that not every battle deserves your presence, and not every misunderstanding demands correction. Silence becomes your shield. Self-respect becomes your armor, and your peace becomes your victory. People often mistake silence for guilt, weakness, or surrender. But a warrior's silence is none of those things. It is discipline. It is focus. It is the understanding that truth does not require noise. Truth stands on its own, and lies eventually collapse under their own weight. When you choose silence over explanation, you force others to confront their own thoughts without your guidance, and that discomfort often reveals more about them than any explanation from you ever could. You must also understand that by explaining yourself too much, you open doors for others to manipulate your truth. Every word becomes something they can twist, question, or use against you. Silence takes away that power from them. It protects your truth. It keeps your dignity untouched. It reminds people that your life is not a courtroom, and they are not judges you must convince. The day you stop explaining yourself is the day you finally reclaim your inner freedom. You walk differently. You think differently. You become more selective with your time, your words, and your energy. You stop pleading for people to understand your heart, and you begin surrounding yourself with those who can feel it without explanation. And the world starts to notice this peaceful confidence, because nothing is louder than a person who no longer needs to be understood by everyone. When you stop explaining, people may question your silence. Let them. People may feel confused. Let them. People may create stories in your absence. Let them. Your job is not to control their mind. Your job is to master your own. Those who matter will always know your truth, and those who don't will drown in their misunderstandings without you having to say a single word. That is the power of silence. That is the strength of a disciplined spirit. And that is why a warrior stops explaining and starts living. 4. Move in silence. Let your growth make the noise. Most people fail, not because they lack talent, strength, or potential, but because they talk too much about what they want to do instead of actually doing it. They reveal their plans to people who secretly hope they fail. They announce their goals to minds too small to understand them. They share their dreams with individuals who do not even dream for themselves. And without realizing it, they allow unnecessary opinions, doubts, and negative energy to enter their path before their journey even begins. A warrior learns early in life that the moment you expose your plans, you weaken them. Silence is not hiding. Silence is strategy. When you move in silence, you protect your mind from the noise of the world. You protect your dreams from judgment. You protect your progress from envy. You protect your spirit from the negativity that comes disguised as advice. The truth is, most of the people you share your plans with are not waiting to support you. They are waiting to measure your progress against their fears. They will project their limitations onto your path and tell you why something won't work, why you shouldn't try, or why you are dreaming too big. And if you are not careful, their doubt becomes your doubt, their fear becomes your fear, and their limited vision becomes the ceiling of your own life. You must understand that a seed grows in darkness long before it rises into the light. It needs silence, stillness, and protection. If you dig it up every day to show people its progress, it will never grow roots, and it will eventually die. Your dreams work the same way. Your growth is happening, even when no one can see it. Your mind is sharpening in moments others consider unimportant. Your discipline is rising in hours when the world is asleep. Your inner transformation is developing quietly, slowly, and powerfully, and it does not need applause to be real. Moving in silence does not mean isolating yourself from the world. It means choosing carefully who gets access to the most sacred parts of your life. Your goals, your evolution, your struggles, your progress. You must understand that some people celebrate your success publicly, but fear your progress privately. The less they know, the less they can interfere. The less they know, the less they can doubt you. The less they know, the less they can doubt you. The less they know, the less they can hold you back. Silence is not a weakness. Silence is your shield. And there is another truth. When you finally succeed, when you finally grow, when you finally rise, your results will speak so loudly that the world will have no choice but to notice. People will look at you and wonder how you transformed so quickly. They will ask how you built so much strength, how you gained so much confidence, how you elevated so far beyond what they expected. What they will never understand is that all of this happened in the quiet hours, in the private battles, in the silent nights where you fought with yourself and won. They will only see the final version, never the silent grind that built it. When you move in silence, you become unpredictable. And when you are unpredictable, you become untouchable. No one knows your next move, so no one can stop you. No one knows what you're working on, so no one can sabotage it. No one knows where you're heading, so no one can block the path. Your silence becomes your advantage. Your discipline becomes your weapon, and your results become your loudest form of revenge. Let the world underestimate you. Let them assume you are not working. Let them think you are not improving. Let them believe that you have stopped growing. Because when the time is right, your silence will break, and your success will roar louder than any announcement you could ever make. A warrior does not shout his progress, he demonstrates it. He does not tell people he is evolving, he simply evolves. And those who once doubted him become silent themselves. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is preparation. Silence is protection. Silence is the stage on which true growth happens. When you move in silence, your growth becomes unstoppable. 5. Embrace solitude. Your power is built when no one is watching. Most people run away from solitude because they are terrified of meeting the parts of themselves they've been avoiding. They fear silence because silence exposes everything they've been covering with noise, insecurity, confusion, regret, emptiness, doubt, fear, and unresolved pain. But a warrior understands something different. A warrior knows that solitude is not a punishment. It is a sacred training ground. It is the place where the mind sharpens, the heart strengthens, and the spirit becomes unbreakable. When you embrace solitude, you begin to see your life clearly. You are no longer influenced by the opinions and expectations of others. You begin hearing your own thoughts without interruption. And for the first time, you realize how much noise the world had created inside you. You see your habits, your weaknesses, your strengths, your desires, your fears, all without distortion. Solitude becomes a mirror, showing you exactly what needs to be fixed, what needs to be released, and what needs to be built. And without that awareness, you can never grow into your highest potential. Most people depend on others for distraction. They use company to escape themselves. They bury their issues in conversations, entertainment, gossip, relationships, or constant activity. But when the noise fades and the crowd leaves, they are left with a mind they don't know how to face. A warrior is different. A warrior does not escape. He confronts. He sits with his thoughts long enough to understand them. He sits with his pain long enough to transform it. He sits with his dreams long enough to plan them. And he sits with his fears long enough to destroy them. Solitude is where you rebuild your identity. You start discovering what you actually want, not what others expect from you. You realize that many of your desires were not even yours. They were borrowed from society, family, friends, and people you wanted to impress. When you remove all external influence, you begin understanding yourself on a deeper level. You discover your natural talents, your internal truths, your genuine vision. You become self-aware, and self-awareness is the foundation of self-mastery. When you spend time alone, you also become emotionally independent. You stop needing constant validation. You stop relying on others to feel worthy. You stop depending on attention to feel alive. You begin enjoying your own company, respecting your own mind, and nurturing your own growth. This is powerful because the person who is comfortable alone cannot be controlled, manipulated, or broken by the presence or absence of anyone else. They do not fear losing people. They do not fear silence. They do not fear distance. Their strength comes from within, not from the world. Solitude also gives you the space to refine your discipline. When no one is watching, you learn what type of person you truly are. Do you still train? Do you still practice? Do you still keep your promises to yourself? Do you still chase excellence when applause is not present? Solitude reveals your real character, your real strength, your real commitment. And once you master yourself in private, no opponent in the outside world can defeat you. One of the greatest advantages of solitude is clarity. When you step away from the noise of the world, your mind becomes still, and in that stillness, answers arrive effortlessly. You begin solving problems that once felt overwhelming. You begin making decisions with confidence instead of confusion. You begin understanding people's intentions more clearly. You begin seeing your life from a higher perspective. That clarity becomes your compass, guiding you toward the right actions and protecting you from the wrong paths. People misunderstand solitude because they confuse it with loneliness. Loneliness is when you crave company because you fear being with yourself. Solitude is when you choose your own company because you value your growth. Loneliness comes from emptiness. Solitude comes from strength. Loneliness weakens you. Solitude rebuilds you. When you embrace solitude, you become a force that cannot be shaken. People sense something different in you, a calmness they cannot understand, a confidence they cannot break, a presence that feels grounded and controlled. This is because solitude filled you with something the world could never give you: inner power. No warrior becomes great in a crowd. No master sharpened his mind in chaos. No legend rose by being surrounded by noise. They all trained in silence, grew in silence, healed in silence, and transformed in silence. And when they finally stepped into the world, their strength spoke louder than 1,000 voices. Solitude is where you meet yourself. Solitude is where you build yourself. Solitude is where you become the version of you the world is not prepared for. 6. Let go of those who delay your growth. Your energy is sacred. One of the hardest lessons in life is realizing that not everyone who starts the journey with you is meant to stay until the end. Some people come into your life as blessings, yes, but others come as lessons, painful lessons that teach you what to outgrow, who to avoid, and what kind of energy you will no longer tolerate. Letting go is not easy, but it is necessary. Because if you do not release the people who slow you down, you will never rise into the person you were meant to become. A warrior understands that elevation requires separation. You must recognize that every person you keep around you either feeds your energy or drains it. Some people support your growth, challenge your thinking, sharpen your mind, and strengthen your character. Others do the opposite. They distract you, drain you, belittle your dreams, minimize your potential, and keep you stuck in cycles you already outgrew. And many times you hold on to these people, not because they deserve a place in your life, but because you fear change, fear loneliness, fear confrontation, or fear the unknown. But understand this: nothing will destroy your future faster than clinging to people who belong in your past. There are people who only love you when you stay small. They feel safe when you are confused, insecure, or uncertain. The moment you grow, the moment you become clear, the moment you find direction, they feel threatened. Not because you hurt them, but because your growth exposes their stagnation. There are people who cheer for you, as long as you don't surpass them. But the day you show real potential, they will start criticizing you, doubting you, or pulling you back. A warrior is not blind to these subtle behaviors. He sees clearly, and he steps away before such energy corrupts his spirit. You must also understand that your environment shapes your mindset. If you remain surrounded by people who complain, you will complain more. If you remain surrounded by people who fear everything, you will fear. If you remain surrounded by people who settle for less, you will slowly start lowering your standards without even noticing. You adapt to the energy around you. This is why protecting your energy is not selfish, it is survival. If you want to rise, you cannot stay in rooms that keep you small. If you want to evolve, you cannot stay around people who refuse to grow. Letting go does not mean anger, hate, or revenge. It means recognizing that your path is no longer aligned with theirs. It means accepting that you are moving upward while they are choosing to remain where they are. It means understanding that you cannot carry people who do not want to walk. You cannot heal those who refuse to change. You cannot drag people toward a future they are not prepared for. And you cannot save someone who is committed to staying broken. When you release the wrong people, your life becomes lighter. Your mind becomes clearer. Your heart becomes calmer. You begin to feel energy returning to you. Energy you didn't realize was being drained daily. The weight you used to carry starts lifting. Your decisions become sharper. Your goals become clearer. Your discipline grows stronger. You start focusing on what matters, not on who distracts you. Letting go becomes the first step toward becoming the person you were always meant to be. And something beautiful happens when you create space. Life fills that space with better people, better opportunities, better energy, and better direction. When you hold on to the wrong people, you block the right ones from entering your life. But when you let go, the universe opens new doors for you, doors you could not see because you were too busy holding on to what was harming you. A warrior does not fear losing people. A warrior only fears losing himself while trying to keep the wrong people close. You must honor your own growth, your own peace, your own evolution. You must rise even if it means rising alone. You must move forward even if it means leaving behind people you once cared for. Because the truth is simple. Not everyone is meant to walk with you into your next chapter. And the sooner you accept this, the faster your life will transform. Your energy is sacred. Guard it with strength. Protect it with discipline. Honor it with boundaries. And never apologize for choosing peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, and growth over comfort. 7. Become unexplainable. Let your strength confuse the weak. There comes a point in your growth where words no longer serve you, explanations no longer interest you, and proving yourself to others becomes meaningless. The more you evolve, the less you feel the need to justify who you are. Your silence becomes intentional, your movements become precise, and your energy becomes something people cannot predict or control. This is when you become unexplainable, a person who is no longer understood by ordinary minds because you operate on a level they have never experienced. Most people live predictable lives. They react the same way, think the same way, fear the same things, and follow the same patterns. When someone rises above this and begins moving differently, speaking differently, thinking differently, and choosing differently, people become unsettled. They do not understand how you became so calm, so focused, so untouchable. They wonder how you maintain discipline when everyone else gives in to distraction. They wonder how you keep growing when others stay stuck. Your consistency becomes confusing. Your confidence becomes intimidating. Your silence becomes threatening. But understand this: their confusion is simply a sign that you stepped out of the world they understand and entered a world they cannot reach. When you become unexplainable, It does not mean you hide who you are. It means your inner world becomes too deep to be expressed in simple words. It means your purpose is stronger than people's opinions. It means you no longer waste energy trying to bring others to your level of clarity. You understand that those meant for you will feel your energy without needing lengthy explanations. They will understand your actions without needing to analyze your history. They will respect your choices without requiring a full story. And those who cannot understand, let them remain confused. Your silence becomes a form of control. The less people know about your life, the less they can interfere with it. The less they know about your plans, the less they can sabotage your progress. The less they know about your hardships, the less they can use your vulnerability against you. You protect your spirit by not exposing it to minds that twist what they cannot comprehend. You preserve your strength by not sharing it with those who drain it. Your mystery becomes your armor. Being unexplainable is not about being cold or distant. It is about being selective. You choose where your energy goes. You choose who deserves access to your thoughts. You choose who is allowed to enter your inner world. You realize that not everyone has the maturity to handle your truth, the wisdom to respect your boundaries, or the capacity to grow alongside you. So you walk with a smaller circle, but a stronger spirit. The warrior understands something most people never learn. The more you explain yourself, the more people think they have the right to judge, question, or control who you are. When you explain less, you take back that power. You make people rely on their own limited understanding, and that is where their confusion begins. They cannot define you. They cannot predict you. They cannot label you. They cannot place you in a box. And this is your freedom. When you become unexplainable, your presence speaks louder than your voice. Your discipline speaks louder than your words. Your results speak louder than your promises. Your silence speaks louder than your explanation. People will come to their own conclusions about you, and most of them will be wrong. Let them be wrong. Their misunderstanding has no impact on your truth. Their confusion does not weaken your journey. Their opinions do not slow your growth. A warrior does not bend because someone else is uncomfortable with his strength. Your power multiplies when you stop needing to be understood. You become steady, calm, self-assured, and deeply grounded. You do not fear losing people. You do not fear silent judgment. You do not fear being different. You do not fear walking alone. This is because you finally understand that your path was carved uniquely for you, and no one else was meant to comprehend every part of it. The moment you become unexplainable, you rise into a level of existence where your energy does the speaking. People feel it before you say a single word. They sense something strong, something disciplined, something rare, and they cannot figure out what changed, because you changed in silence, in private battles, in quiet growth, in moments no one witnessed. Let their confusion continue. You were not born to be understood. You were born to transform. You were not born to fit in. You were born to rise. You were not born to explain. You were born to become so unshakable, so disciplined, so self-controlled, and so silently powerful that people cannot describe you, cannot predict you, and cannot limit you. They can only feel you. That is the power of becoming unexplainable. Eat. Master the art of emotional control. Power belongs to the one who remains calm. Most people live as prisoners of their emotions. They get angry too quickly. They get hurt too easily. They get triggered over small things, and they react before they think. And every time they react, they give their power away. They allow other people, situations, and words to control their inner world. But a warrior knows something different. The real fight is not outside you. The real battle is always within you. If you cannot control your emotions, you cannot control your life. Emotional control does not mean you ignore your feelings. It means you understand them so deeply that they no longer dictate your behavior. You see anger rising, and instead of exploding, you question it. You see fear entering, and instead of running, you face it. You feel jealousy, disappointment, loneliness, frustration. But you do not let these emotions decide your next move. You stay calm, grounded, observant. This is the art of the warrior, feeling everything but being controlled by nothing. Most people react instantly because they have never trained their emotional muscles. Anger becomes automatic, defensiveness becomes automatic, insecurity becomes automatic, and overthinking becomes automatic. They live in a constant cycle of emotional storms because they do not know how to slow down inwardly. But the moment you learn to pause, to breathe, to observe your emotions instead of surrendering to them, you take back control of your entire life. A calm mind is not a natural gift. It is a discipline built over time. You must learn to catch yourself in the moment. When someone disrespects you, train yourself not to react with the same immaturity. When someone provokes you, train yourself not to fall into their trap. When life challenges you, train yourself not to panic or collapse. When your mind fills with fear, train yourself not to obey it blindly. You begin to realize something powerful. The calmer you are, the clearer you see, and the clearer you see, the smarter your decisions become. Emotional control is not about being cold. It is about being strategic. It is about being so disciplined internally that nothing external can shake you off your path. People will think you are cold, detached, or arrogant. When you no longer react emotionally, let them think that. Their interpretation of your calmness is not your concern. You do not live to match their emotional chaos. You live to master yourself. And most people who misunderstand your calmness do so because they have never experienced that level of inner strength themselves. Emotional control also protects your energy. When you react to everything, you drain yourself. You lose focus. You lose clarity. You lose direction. But when you stay calm, you conserve your mental power. You see opportunities others miss. You handle situations others break under. You solve problems without letting panic destroy your logic. Calmness becomes your superpower, the weapon that gives you an advantage in every situation. A warrior understands that emotional reactions are often the biggest source of regret. Words spoken in anger destroy relationships. Decisions made in fear create more fear. Actions taken in frustration create unnecessary consequences. But when you control your emotions, you prevent the damage before it begins. You protect yourself from yourself. You also become unpredictable. When you stop reacting emotionally, no one can manipulate you. No one can control you with anger, guilt, shame, jealousy, pressure, or fear. You become like water, adaptable, flowing, calm, yet incredibly powerful. Water can rise, fall, bend, destroy, or nourish, but it never loses its nature. This is the essence of emotional mastery. And as your emotional intelligence increases, something else happens. Your self-respect grows. You stop tolerating chaos. You stop entertaining people who provoke drama. You stop shrinking to match others' emotional immaturity. You begin walking away from toxic patterns because your peace becomes more valuable than their attention. You learn to protect your inner world as fiercely as a warrior protects his life. Every legend, every master, every great fighter understood this truth. The strongest person in the room is not the loudest. It is the one who remains calm when others lose themselves. Emotional control transforms you from ordinary to extraordinary. It takes you from reactive to strategic, from weak to powerful, from confused to centered, from chaotic to unstoppable. Master your emotions and you master your life. Remain calm and nothing can touch you. Become grounded, and the world bends around your presence instead of breaking it. That is true power. That is inner mastery. That is the mind of a warrior. Now that you've walked through every one of these lessons to stop chasing, stop begging, stop explaining, move in silence, embrace solitude, protect your energy, become unexplainable, and master emotional control, you have one choice left: to either return to the world as the same person or rise as a completely different force. A warrior is not defined by his fists, his muscles, or his speed. A warrior is defined by his control, his discipline, and his ability to stand firm in a world that constantly tries to pull him off his path. Understand this clearly. Life becomes easier the moment you stop making other people the center of your world. The moment you stop seeking permission, validation, or understanding from those who cannot even understand themselves. The moment you stop attaching your peace to how others behave. True strength is not about dominating others. It is about mastering yourself so deeply that no one's actions have the power to disturb your inner world. When you stop chasing, you begin attracting. When you stop begging, you begin choosing. When you stop explaining, you begin living. When you move in silence, you begin growing. When you embrace solitude, you begin transforming. When you protect your energy, you begin rising. When you become unexplainable, you begin standing out without trying. And when you master emotional control, you begin walking through the world with a calmness that feels unshakable to everyone around you. The world respects a person who carries himself with quiet strength. Not loud strength, not desperate strength, not reactive strength, but silent strength, the kind that needs no approval, no applause, no validation, the kind that comes from knowing exactly who you are and refusing to shrink for anyone. This is the power that makes people wonder how you stay so calm, how you stay so focused, how you continue rising even through storms. It's because you no longer seek your power from the outside, you generate it from within. A warrior does not chase love, he creates love within himself. A warrior does not beg for respect, he earns it with his presence. A warrior does not explain his worth, he shows it silently through his discipline. A warrior does not fear losing people, he fears losing his path. A warrior does not react emotionally, he responds with clarity. And that is the difference between someone controlled by the world and someone who controls himself in the world. From today forward, stand like the warrior life has been forcing you to become. Walk with calmness, act with intention, choose with confidence, and move with a spirit that does not depend on anyone's acceptance. Let people think whatever they want. Let them misunderstand you. Let them try to judge you from the outside. None of it matters because your truth is not written by them. It is written by you, through your discipline, through your silence, through your growth, and through the strength you build when no one is watching. Level up in silence. Rise with discipline. Move with peace. And remember the rule that every true warrior lives by. Never beg, never chase, never explain. Just become so powerful within yourself that the world has no choice but to adjust to your presence.